And now it's going. So there we are. We're in it. This is the thing. We're here. We made it. We first decided to do this like months ago, so this is very, very exciting for me. But welcome, all you guys, to session 0 of the Phantasmagarium, which is the name of this campaign, which I've decided I need to name because I'm involved in so fucking many of them. So since this is the 4th one that like I'm attached to, like they need names. So you'll see why this one is called the Phantasmagarium very, very quickly. But I have a list of bullet points because that's where I'm at organization-wise right now in my life. But the first thing I wanted to just go through is that it's not that. I keep telling you it's not Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. It's a fully distinct intellectual property. How dare you? So I think like one of the reasons to do this is that some of us really don't know each other. Like some of us are 100% strangers. So that's useful. But I think you guys all know who I am, at least passingly, because I'm fairly sure I've met or spoken to you at various points. Maybe not Melanie. Melanie might not know who I am, but that's fine. But I wanted to just kind of go through some introductions, literally like who we are and what our prior experience is. And I know for a lot of us that's not like much or any, and that's all completely fine. That's great and exciting. Hi, Rich. And Rich is sort of around too. But yeah, I have been, you guys, I've been playing these goddamn games since I was like 13, I think I recently figured out. 13 or 14, maybe, which that's like a while ago. I admittedly have only done a little bit of DMing, so that's something I'm still like learning and getting better at. I hope getting better at. But that's correct. Janie has nailed it. But yeah, so I've been at this for a while, and I get really, really excited about these opportunities to have people who are like new to the game involved in it and show them what it can be, because this is the thing that's really important to me. Which makes it sound serious, but I should point out that like so far, listen, you guys, this is the silliest fucking adventure I've ever started writing. I think we're going for pretty lighthearted for the most part. That doesn't mean we can't have like dramatic moments and stuff like that, but like so far we're in Goof Town. But yeah, so that's me. I'm your DM for this dumb thing. I don't know what order we should go in for everybody, because none of you are going to volunteer. So I'm just going to have to pick one of you, I think. Probably Melanie, right? Mel, do you wanna get in there? And I mean, I can't see you, but maybe you can hear me.
I think she froze up and had to come back in.
Womp womp. Okay. Well, I can't throw her under the bus then. Oh, I see. My confusion is that we've got that second Jenny window. And now I understand what's happening. Gotcha. Double Jenny. What does double Jenny mean? Sam, do you want to go? Maybe?
Sure. I can do that. Hi, I'm Sam. I have played a little bit of 3.5 edition, but not a whole lot, and then a bunch of like, there's a dog barking in here now. A bunch of like other kind of D&D adjacent type games, role-playing games. So I don't really know a ton of the rules really well, but I get the idea of it for the most part. So Just me. Do you guys have anything else I need to say about me?
Oh, damn it, I missed it.
Oh, you missed it. You don't know anything about me now. I shared.
I mean, we're recording a session, so.
My deepest secrets.
Also, I'm on my phone now, and I don't know how to like mute myself and stuff when I'm on my phone. I'm gonna work around, see what I can do. My computer's just being awful.
Okay, well, I was gonna make you go next.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do that? Do you
No,
want
I
me to make
need
someone
someone
do
else
it?
to go first, so I know what we're even saying.
Okay, we're talking about like who you are and your like level of experience with tabletop gaming and stuff. That's pretty much just what we're doing.
Okay. Like say what our names are. Actually, okay. I'm Melanie.
Like everybody knows you, but a couple of these people are totally new to each other, so I'm just doing a thing.
That's true. I'm Melanie, and I played some D&D back in the day, back in college. Really not all that much. Like the longest campaign I ever did was a Serenity campaign. Great. I went to a Max Fun meetup in Cincinnati and met someone who became my game master, and I was gaming with them until they moved to Arizona. And now I have you guys. And I'm not good at it, so we'll see how this goes. Is that all? Do we need to talk about our characters yet, or we just talk about ourselves?
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Hey, Emily, you do it.
Okay. I'm Emily. I have never played D&D. The end. Like, the extent of my tabletop RPG experience is listening to all of the Adventure Zone.
I mean, you've some pretty cool dice now, so like...
You have some very excellent dice that someone very wise and beautiful helped me pick out, so that is like running start I've got on this. That's all I have for you.
Cool, good. Jenny, go for it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenny. I started playing a different game for the first time earlier this year. Oh, this sucks because it's not showing my face while I'm talking, right?
Oh, that's not just me. Okay, cool.
No, I did. Like, because I'm the one controlling the thing now, I can switch to you, so I've done that.
Okay. So I started playing this year for the first time with like an in real life group that I met through the Max Fun Chicago Facebook group. But that was my first experience and my only other experience in D&D, in like any kind of RPG. That's all I've got.
Cool, good. Go Hazelets.
Which one?
Let them fight over it.
Go first. Hi, I'm Taylor. No, she's not. Okay, I'm Jamie. We look very similar. I don't know what to say. I guess like the only time I've ever like actually kind of played D&D was like not actually D&D, and it was with my brother. And basically, he was like, "You're the dungeon master," and I'm like, "All right, I don't know what that means, but I know that I can control your world, which is all I've ever wanted to do." So I basically like made like all these like really detailed maps and like characters and like all this like ridiculous stuff, and then like killed off all of his friends one by one. And then that was like, it was not D&D, it was just me drawing stuff and then killing people. So I don't have any experience with D&D actually.
I don't have any experience playing D&D. I'm Taylor. That's why. No. I just have listened to like multiple podcasts where they play D&D, and I've played like other kinds of like board games and maybe like one or two things that are kind of adjacent to D&D. That's it.
Cool. So we're all over the board a little bit. Yeah, and it's I think I've probably said it in the last few minutes, and also have it to I think all of you individually at various points. But like knowing the game, I don't give a shit. Like, how do you learn the thing? But by just like doing it, knowing how the thing works beyond just like who your character is, that's my job, and you'll kind of like pick up how that works as it goes. Like obviously it's handy to know, and it makes things easier. We've definitely lost Melanie again, but I'm not like I honest to God, I have known people who get mad at people for not knowing how the thing works, and that is just not what I'm about in the least. Hi again, Mel.
I thought I could get back on my computer.
Well, at least you gave it a shot.
Mm.
So yeah, it's really important to me to. I feel like I'm just kind of repeating myself a little bit, but it's super important to me to try and make like playing this game just like a comfortable thing to all do together. So I like looking at through the pile of books and whatever can be really intimidating, and like most of you also have at various points said to me like, I'm really bad at this, but like that doesn't mean anything. that phrase just means nothing in this case. It's like it's fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm so not worried about like the finer details of the thing. We're gonna find our feet and figure out what this is, and hopefully have fun. So I always think it's useful when I do stuff like this to kind of talk about like expectations a little bit, because there are certain things. I've been doing this so goddamn long, even before I had ever played. When I was like a young teenager or whatever, I had been watching my brother and his friends play D&D when I was like a tiny child, and so like I'm just so used to the vocabulary of the thing, that there's certain stuff that hasn't always like occurred to me, and what I mean by that is like you should know that as a DM, I'm the kind of person who like is comfortable with your characters dying, and it is important that you know that. Like they could die. It's not like I'm trying to do it. That's not how I see my job in this. But it's important that you know that it's like a possibility that like bad things could happen and they could die, and I'm not gonna like try and stop that from happening. Mel, I saw that. I'm not gonna just try and stop that from happening just to kind of like protect you and the characters. So like that's stuff that's important for you to know. Excuse me. If they do die, then we'll try our best to make it like interesting and meaningful, and like part of the story. But just it could happen. As far as like I guess, I mean, there's no way to say this without sounding like and feeling like an asshole, I guess. But as far as like my expectations of you guys as players, it's really just like really get interested in not only your characters but also everybody else's. That's what's really important to me. And like I hope that the story that we try and make will like be interesting to you guys, and you want to explore the different bits of it. I've told a couple of you stuff about this, but like I'm the kind of DM who has recently written like 4 or 5 different songs for the other campaign that I'm running that are like background pieces that like they may never even hear, honestly. It's just that I can't stop my brain from just like thinking about not only the history of the world that the whole thing is happening in, but also just like if you go into a tavern in this medieval fantasy world that they're playing in, and there's like a bard playing a song, like what are songs you might hear? So that's the level of obsessive compulsion that I guess I bring to the table. So yeah, that's kind of the shoppy stuff. Do you guys have, I don't know, I guess, do you have any questions at this point or anything? Anybody? Nothing? Sick. Cool.
I mean,
Then
if
in
you're getting people to want to listen to the songs that you make for us, I feel like that's gonna be no problem. Because like my whole character, I'm basing it like that I love music and art and stuff. So like if there's a bard, I'm gonna be like, what do they have to sing to me right now, please?
cool, good.
This is gonna be good.
Taylor just asked if we've decided how often we're going to play, and I'm shooting. I'm hoping for every other week, which is what my my other game does. If it keeps on the schedule of like today we're doing session 0, then yeah, great. Then like every 2 weeks I'll have a very busy Sunday essentially, just because I'll be DMing 2 different games. But that's fine. That just means I have like 2 weeks of prep for both games, which I'm hoping is better than if I had them off weeks, because then it would be like, which one am I supposed to be prepping this week? And I would probably not remember, and I would probably do the exact wrong one. So yeah, the thing Melanie said is actually a really good spot to like. That's all mechanical shop talk is what I was trying to say there. But then I'm going to derime it, and here we are in a huge mess. But this is a good spot to kind of talk about like story things. So if you guys want to each do like, at this point, say a little bit about who your character is. We don't want. I don't think we want to go into too much detail about the character that you're going to be playing, because there's a lot of stuff we're going to want to have the characters discover about each other during the actual game. I don't know. Maybe your guys have secrets, and there's no reason you have to like, let everybody else know about that. Often it's handy if you tell me those things, because then that's just like little narrative threads that I can tug on and play around with. But yeah, you don't necessarily want to reveal all of that stuff to each other. So if you just want to say like what class you are, and what I was thinking is talk about why you're in this city, because at the start of the thing you're all going to be in a particular city at the same time. And just kind of talk about how you ended up in a big major population center. So now this time, since we've all spoken, I'm just going to go from left to right as far as my screen is concerned. So Emily, you're first now.
Okay, so I don't have a name for my character yet completely. I sort of gave her the first name Annabelle, but I'm still toying with that. But she's a half orc. She's a rogue. She grew up in like kind of like a more barbarian type culture. Like she grew up around a bunch of orcs who are very like punch, smash, throw things people. But she is a rogue because she really admires like that stealth ability, because it's just not something she grew up seeing. Like it's completely opposite of what she like is used to seeing people do, and so she thinks it's super cool, and so she's trained to become a rogue, and she's just sort of looking for more experience because she really wants to get better at it. She wants to be like as good as she can be because like it's something she's super passionate about. She's also super charming and adorable and does not take herself seriously. And I think that's it.
What's your favorite color?
Ooh. Red.
Would it be unnerving if I just started writing that down now? Like Annabelle, red.
Yes, it would be.
By the way, that reminds me of a thing I also wanted to tell you guys that as far as like expectations. So I'm for sure, probably for every NPC you guys run across, going to try and come up with a voice, and it's going to be bad like a lot of the time. If not like 100% of the time, most of the time probably. I don't like expect you to have a voice for your character. I think it's great if you have one. Like I love that, and also it makes it really easier to differentiate between when you're saying something as the player and when your character is. But it's not like I'm gonna, stop every time you speak and be like, but character voice though, because we're not making a fucking podcast. But it is great if you do. Like, I can't possibly stress enough that it is like delightful if you do that thing. Yeah.
Hey, Tag, I changed my mind. I think her favorite color is yellow.
Oh, wow.
Change it in your document. Thank you.
Jenny, you want to talk about your character?
Sure. Hi, can you hear me? Yes? Okay. So my character's name is Caritas, but you can call her Kari Tavas. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. And I'm not sure how much she would say at this point, but I'll tell you that she is a half elf and a nomadic mystic. So she like travels around and she is into learning stuff. She wants to know everything about everything. And that's probably all she would tell you about her background right now. Take what else is necessary for the story.
Why do you think she's come to the city that you guys are in?
I imagine that she was traveling in a caravan somewhere. She knows how to make clothes and cobble and stuff. So she probably was working like doing some kind of work for somebody in the city. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I was gonna make. Well, what's your favorite color? You think? Kari's favorite.
I was thinking about it. I think copper. Can I call copper a color?
Say it one more time.
Copper.
Rad. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna make Mel go next, but she's gone again. So I muted myself before I said a thing. I guess it's Sam's turn.
So I went to the fantasynamegenerator.com and came up with the name Hista. Hista Agoria, which is spelled funny, and I'll write it out later. But and she is a tiefling sorcerer, and her like backstory is kind of that, like her parents are into like demon stuff and like being kind of evil and not great. And she kind of doesn't really feel one way or the other about it, but she had like a younger brother who was super just kind of like not into that and very just like kind-hearted and wanted to be like, I don't know, I don't have a specific for that just yet, but like he ran away because he felt like he didn't fit into the family. And so she went to look for him and ended up in like some dark forest somewhere where she encountered some kind of magical thing, and that's how she ended up with these sorcerer powers. Like she touched something when she was searching for him and she felt like it had something to do with him going missing, and she never found him. And now she has these weird powers and she doesn't really know how to handle it or what to do, so she has gone to the city to seek information. And say her favorite color is probably like crimson.
I wasn't going to mark them all down, but now obviously I have to. Okay, so we went slightly out of order there because Mel's thing dropped again, but Mel, it's your turn.
I have to go after Taylor, actually, because the reason why I'm in town pretty much is based off of why she's in town.
Okay, fine. We'll go Taylor, then Mel, then Janie, then.
Okay, my character is named Felicity Mousewort, and she is a gnome bard. She came from like this. She has a really big family. She has 15 kids in the family, and she's the 7th. So her family like used to be kind of like more prosperous, like her. But now her family's kind of like on hard times. So she left the town, or community that she was in before, and now is like traveling around as a bard. And so that's the reason why she's in this bigger city, because I completely talked about this, but I'm gonna say they've been traveling for like maybe a couple of years. Like I think she left her city like maybe 2 years or something ago. And so she's been like kind of going around to some like smaller places. And why are you laughing?
Just because I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You're not in this one. And so now that they've like kind of cut their teeth on like some smaller towns, then they're like ready to go to like a bigger city. Okay. Now Mel can go.
And we didn't get your favorite color.
Brown.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're up, Mel.
Okay. So my character is Goliath, and Goliaths have 3 names traditionally. They have like their given name, and then they have their surname, and then their middle name is something that is given to them. It's something that's earned either through like feats of bravery or cowardice, like it's given as a punishment or reward after different things. And my character, he's on the bigger end of like the taller, bigger, bulkier end of Goliath, but he also doesn't really like think to use his weight and like fighting power when probably he should. And so he was given the middle name Hide Fist, which is basically like a put down in Goliath, just that he's a pacifist. The way that I envision him meeting Taylor's character is that she unintentionally Pied Pipers him, where he just like hears music and has to like go to it. And like his village is pretty cool with it, because like he's not doing any good there, and he's like, that's fine, you guys don't have art and music here, so goodbye. And then when he met her, I'm she actually, in my mind, she gave him the name. They go by their middle names, and I feel like my character explained to her that what my middle name means, like, is that I'm a pacifist, and then she's like, "Oh, I'll call you Patrick," and that's my name. And my Patrick would think that question is stupid. There's no point to that question about what my favorite color is.
Favorite color? That's dumb. Gotcha.
It's just irrelevant. What is it? What is the point?
That's dumb. You're dumb. Why are you dumb for asking this? Yes, got it.
He wouldn't insult you. You should just feel bad for asking.
Now, this is a guy who was Pied Pipered by the mere sound of music and left home because of the lack of art, but it's still, the thought of having a favorite color is like completely useless to him. So there's still like this aspect of like being utilitarian about him, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Cool. Okay.
He probably has a
yeah.
favorite
So
color, but actually it's gray. He probably like really likes that color, but we never answer that.
okay, that's dumb. Parentheses gray though. Gotcha. All right, so that leaves Janie.
Okay. I don't want to get like too much into my character's backstory because I don't want to be like, here's my deal. But my character's name is, okay, you can come in. I'm not like you. You're allowed to be in this with me. Okay, my character's name is Rebels Furrow. Basically, I think the reason why I'm in town, it's not like a great reason, but it's enough of a reason, is just that I'm like looking to make money. I've always like lived with my family and haven't had a lot of like experience outside of my community, and so now is the point where I'm being like led out on a mission, basically. It's so ridiculous. And I am looking for like knowledge on how to like travel safely and looking to like make money, and basically that's it. My favorite color is maroon because I think it's pretty, and I don't think it's a dumb question.
I seem to. There we are. I'm back.
You didn't say
I froze it.
your
Oh,
class or your.
What was Jenny's
I'm a
favorite color, by the way?
Copper.
Sorry.
I'm a dwarf and I'm a cleric, by the way. I didn't say that.
So you're holding a lot of that kind of close to the chest, which is totally fine.
I don't want it to be like a secret, but I also don't want to like spew out all of this.
There's a degree to which some of your stuff almost can't possibly be secret because like you're a cleric.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say it now?
That you're a cleric? Yeah.
Well, no, I was gonna say like that wasn't tricky.
No, you don't have, feel free not to bring that up at all right now. That's totally fine.
Okay, I don't want people digging into my past.
So I don't think any of you are from where we're playing. Like it's you all kind of traveled to here. Yeah. Yeah. Great. So I guess it's worthwhile to me to point out that the name of the city that you guys are going to be in, as you would know it looking at a map, on really any given map, it's just listed as, I have a message from Mel and she's frozen. I assume her thing just like broke again. Oh, beautiful trash top. Again, this is part of why I wanted to record it, just in case of stuff like this. But anyway, the city that you guys are in, and at the start of our first session, you will be in the city. As far as any of you would know, what it is called on a map is just the City of Glamour. Just the word glamour, Glamour, which seems grandiose, I imagine, when you look at a map. And all you really probably know about it coming into it is that it's like a much bigger population center than really anything for quite a while. Like this is the biggest city in the area. As far as kind of like style of world, I've been imagining this as still basically kind of like medieval fantasy, but like, you know, nobody's using the word forsooth. You know what I mean? It's I think going to be kind of modern and just sort of the result of a culture and series of cultures that have come together and don't have a lot of like mechanical technological advancements because they got magic, so why bother? So that's just kind of what I'm envisioning in terms of like feel of this. And some of that I think we're just gonna feel out as we go. Because I'm just not too worried about it. There's probably like magic trains and stuff, you know? Or maybe there aren't. I don't know. As it occurs to us, it'll probably be things that are there. And at the time, well, I really want Mel to actually be in the call for this next thing.
So my phone battery's going to die. I'm going to switch to the other thing, but I won't have voice. So I'll type in the chat. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's good. Oh, hi again.
Hey.
Cool, good. I didn't want to move on to the next bit until you were back. So, did at what point did you cut out? Had I said the name of the city yet?
What? No. Yeah, no, you haven't.
We lost both Jennies. Well, while we're waiting for one of the Jennies to return.
When did we have a multi-Jenny situation?
We had a double Jenny for most of it.
Oh God. Well, see, when I was on my phone, I can't see like everybody at the same time.
Well, there's one of the Jennies, so we're good. No, you're good. It's fine. So I was telling them that the city that you're going to be in at the start of this is, as far as any of you know, and what it is marked on any map that you're likely to have looked at, is the City of Glamour, which is just like some real bullshit. And I can only imagine people looking at a map, seeing the City of Glamour, and kind of being like, "That's not really what it is it?" But you guys have probably, right? You guys have probably all been here for a couple of days at least, where we're going to start this thing. And when we start, you will all, through various means, I don't know how each of you individually have come across this, you will have come across an advertisement. And the advertisement will read as follows. Well, again, right before I read the thing. Oh, your face was gone. There you are. You're still muted. And still muted.
I can see if I could find the chat on the phone. It's weird. I can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think you can use that from the app version.
Cool.
All right. In any case, this is the advertisement that you have all seen in some time in the last couple of days that you've been in the City of Glamour. Get paid to live an adventure. Visit exotic locales, meet interesting people, and form friendships that will last the rest of your life. No prior experience necessary, all skill sets welcome. Does this sound like a fantasy? It doesn't have to be. Inquire within at the fantastic Phantasmagarium on the corner of Dragon Avenue and Dungeon Lane. Guys, you can't believe how proud of that last thing I am.
It's pretty cute. It's pretty adorable.
I think all of the thank you. I think all of the streets in the city of Glamour, in the time you've been here, you've noticed that all of the north-south streets are the names of creatures, and all the east-west streets, because it's like more or less a grid, are just like fantasy concepts and sort of places and things. So there's a unicorn street here. It's a ridiculous place. So yeah, that's the ad that you've responded to, and at this point, I think all of you have in fact inquired within at the Phantasmagarium, which is very difficult to miss. It's a tall and very broad, in both directions, corner building with an enormous archway at the front door, a pair of pillars on either side, which are holding up a big curved sign that in a very overwrought and ridiculous script reads the Phantasmagarium. And when all of you have inquired within, you have been met by most of you have probably spoken to a goblin inside, and you've shown them the ad, said, I'm interested in this, and he has taken your name and your information, and said that if they're interested, then these are not Gerblins, don't do it. However, weirdly, they do speak Gerblish, so that's a weird thing. So anyway, although he wasn't speaking Gerblish when he told you this, he said they would get in touch with you if they were interested. And I think all of you have in fact gotten essentially your callback is the point where we're going to be jumping into this story. And you have been told to bring your resume back to the Phantasmagarium. This is probably the third thing I figured out about this campaign, you guys. I'm actually going to make you write a resume for your character. I looked up earlier just some, like, I know I had thought, like, Jenny's is going to be friggin' amazing. I've grabbed a couple of just like really basic templates, which I'm happy to send you guys a resume template if you want to just like fill out a thing very basically. That's 100% fine. But beyond that, I do want you to think about like, what is the resume that your character would make? Not knowing your characters yet, for all I know, it's just going to be scrawled into a plank of wood, and that's what you'll bring. Or it'll be just like too nice, which is what I'm kind of expecting from Jenny now. So yeah, whatever you think is the resume that your character would put together and what they would say about themselves. The template that I grabbed earlier is literally just like, name your objectives for this job, sort of just like compressing the idea of a cover letter into a tiny paragraph at the top of the resume. Experience, education, and achievements. And it's the most basic resume template I've ever seen in my life. But whatever you think your character would try and present about themselves going into this thing, which, as far as you know, going into this place only briefly, is a magic shop / museum, is how I would describe it to you. Are we all kind of on the same page about that? Does that all make sense? Are any of you mad at me for making you make a resume?
So this isn't Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
It's not. I'm so sorry.
Is the twist that it is going to be Mr. Megorium's Wonder
It's
Emporium?
not Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
See, that's what you'd say if it was, and it was the twist.
Well, I guess that's the ultimate goal of your quest, to find out if it's going to be Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium the whole time.
Well, it's going to be a short quest because it is, so.
Take you to different places. That's a ridiculous question. That's just what doors do. All right. um So all of you, I genuinely feel kind of weird about giving you homework, but if any of you want just like a template thing, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Just for when we play, you know, we should have it like at the start of our first actual session.
Are you planning on doing interviews in game and making us do interviews with you in front of everybody else?
You'll see.
Well, I'm kind of mortified by that, so.
You're gonna listen. You know as much as your character does. Okay, so that is a thing we have to figure out because the issue with the 17th, which is 2.
We can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, this is the thing that kept happening in my last session. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, we do need to figure this out because the issue with the 17th, which is 2 weeks from today, is that I will be in Ohio at the time.
What? Ohio? Weird.
Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out with Melanie at the time. So,
I thought you were finally going to come visit me.
no, why would I ever?
Wow. Rude.
I'm not hearing an answer to my question, though, is the other thing.
Would we want to do maybe next week? I'm going to be up here to celebrate my birthday with my friends Lindsay and Jordan, but
Right.
I can like find time to do this and all that time.
So that's the other thing. Whenever I've been doing these on Google Hangouts games, each session is only like a fairly specific like 2-hour block. And that's just because like it's sort of uncomfortable to sit in front of your laptop for like huge extended periods of time, and B, because it usually just ensures that it's not like the biggest to be able to so it just like helps keep the thing regular. But we probably could do next week.
What time are we thinking we're doing these sessions?
Like 2.
What time is everyone free? Like
I mean, yeah.
noon is good for me usually. Well, we have to work around yours, don't we?
Well, that is the other thing. I do all of these on Sundays.
I'm usually off all day Sunday.
Yeah. So to fit into like the other games that I'll have going on next week, like my first thing is at God, how did I let this happen in my life? My first thing is at 11 and goes till 1. So like starting this one at 2 would be probably ideal for me. Cool. All right, cool. Let's plan on that. Yeah, next week at 2. So that's when you'll need to have written your fantasy resume by. Two Eastern, yes. Sorry, Jenny. Sometimes I forget that you're in a different time zone. All right. That is all the specific stuff that I wanted to get into with this. Actually, sorry, Jenny asked me a specific and direct question earlier, and I totally skimmed over it because we were talking about other stuff too. She asked if the goblin told you anything at all about the job. And it's weird that I didn't think of the specific answer to that question beforehand, because that's an obvious one. But I think more than likely, sorry, there's so many sirens in this town. Yes, there's a ghost just outside, and it sounds like an idiot. Yeah, so the
I mean, he lives in Salem, so yeah.
well, they use ghosts as sirens in this town, is the thing. There's just a ghost in every emergency vehicle sitting on top screaming like an idiot. You have no idea. All of the emergency vehicles are dispatched from a cemetery, in fact. So it's multiple levels of spooky. Yeah, so when you went in and you talked to the goblin, it's rad here. You should absolutely come here. He would have definitely told you that most of the information will be. I mean, that's fine. I'm saying for your benefit, you should come here. For my benefit, stay elsewhere. That's fine. I promise, Emily and I are very good friends. Jesus, it's hard to remember what I was saying when I keep getting distracted by this terrible nuisance on the left. The job. Yeah, so he would have said that he's not allowed to tell you too much right off the bat, because the person in charge would want to tell you most of the specifics. But the idea is that you would be working for the Phantasmagarium is sort of split into 2 parts. There's essentially the shop and the museum. For any of you who have watched Gravity Falls, it's not entirely dissimilar from the Mystery Shack. It's just like way less shady. So there's like exhibits and stuff you can look at and things like that, but there's also just like, and it's not necessarily a gift shop of that museum, it's just like a magic item shop. But he tells you that you would be working for the shop side, but you wouldn't just be like working behind the counter. You'd be considered back of house staff, essentially. But other than that, does anyone else have any other questions about whatever? No? Everybody's all set? Cool. Well, I mean, like, at this point, if we're just kind of wrapping up, I think probably feel free to unmute yourselves, because the fact that I'm just talking to your silent faces is freaking me out. I mean, Jenny can't, so she gets a hall pass on this one. But
I just unmuted myself because my fiance just came home from work and he came over and you may have seen him karate chop the camera. And then he said, I didn't know it was anyone other than people I know, and now I made a fool of myself. That was my karate chopping the camera. You can see he's look. He's walking around back there.
You're terrifically embarrassed, Mike.
Butler.
Yeah, so who of you would like to have a template sent to them?
I think I would.
Okay.
I mean, I do.
Yeah. Just gonna make a note for myself so I don't forget to actually do that.
I can print it out and then light it on fire because I'm not following that shit. I might do that actually.
So just the two of you?
Why not just send it to everybody? Just post it to the group.
Just send it to all of us. We all need this.
Yeah, can you drop docs in Google Hangouts like you can on Skype?
All right.
Yeah, I was frozen. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that is yeah, that was where I was gonna put it probably. Yeah, so that should be it for session 0, unless you guys have anything else. So I'm sure I will talk to you guys, intermittently in between, but other than that, I'll just see you next week.
Rad.
Thank you guys. I know that it's weird to get this many of us together all at once, but
Yeah, especially when somebody's computer isn't working right.
Ugh.
yeah, this is unfortunately the trade-off with doing it this way. Like, it's great that we can do this from so far away, but also technical difficulties are just not really an issue when you're all sitting at a table together.
If we did wait and do it when you were in town, then we would be able to use your computer, and it might be better than my computer. So,
Good question. You guys are going to Taz Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Is anyone else going?
3 of us.
Yeah, not from this group of people. There's other people from McElroy stuff that we know, but
Because we were gonna drive up early and hang around in Nashville. I don't know what time you guys are getting there. I mean, we could probably discuss this in a different forum, but
I don't know when because he has to fly out here and then we're gonna drive down, and then we're planning on hanging out at least in Nashville after the show and seeing what's what.
Fair enough.
yeah, I don't know what our specific plan is yet.
Okay.
Figure it out hopefully before October.
Yeah, it's a while away, so.
So weirdly close though.
I know.
Yeah, I need to get my plane ticket ASAP.
Shit, we do. I'm gonna have money though because we just made I think over $5,000, maybe just $5,000.
Christ.
Guys, I'm sunburnt and I was under a tent all day. I'm fucking dead. I worked 7 hours straight. I did not stop to go to the bathroom or eat, sit down and eat anything. I ate an avocado sandwich while standing and taking money from people.
Do you stay hydrated? I know that's Jenny's question, but
I did. I had so much Snapple.
fair enough.
Oh, Jenny,
To have people laughing.
oh, you mean sugar?